Hey, what's up, guys? So I basically made this video because I kind of wanted to go over some ways that you can basically make your chords sound a lot more interesting. And this is especially true if you like to play a lot in drop D, which most like metal or like rock players really like to do. So kind of get started off, what a lot of people usually do is they start off by playing like power chords like these. So those sound cool for like a while, but then what happens is you start to get really bored. This is something that I actually learned by playing a lot of like Avenged Sevenfold. One thing that you could do to make those sound more interesting is by adding the third or the 10th of the chord onto those basically. So that basically sounds like this. You could basically practice that in all of the chords in the key, kind of just to start off. And eventually, once you get used to it, it kind of just becomes second nature and you could kind of like move it around the fretboard. So it sounds like this basically. So you basically start off doing like that, and then eventually it becomes second nature, and you're ready to move on to the next step, which is basically adding uh, even more notes to the chord. So the next step up from that is instead of just adding the 10th to the chord, what you could do is you could add the ninth to the chord, which is this note. But in order for it to still sound cool, what you have to do is you need to get the 10th of the chord up here and add it up to the G string. So you're basically playing the same note, which is up here. And that sounds like this. So it's like. So basically, what you have is the root, the fifth, the ninth of the chord, and the 10th. And that's just kind of like a way that you can make it sound like it has more of a quality to it. And then from there, the next step would be to add another note using the B string or the second string. So what you could do from there is you could add the. Let me see what that is. It's basically like adding the equivalent of like a sixth to the chord as well. So once you've gotten good at like doing these chords, the next step would be to add the sixth to it on the top string, which basically sounds like this. And then from there, the only real step up is to basically just start adding like the open strings, like adding, for example, stuff like this. So once you get really comfortable with it, it actually becomes really easy. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to go over that because I feel like a lot of music these days has really boring chords. And if you start doing things like adding like ninths and a lot of like sixths and tenths and stuff like that, then the chords sound a lot more interesting than just like. Yeah, that's pretty much it.